So, just in time.
Nice.
Welcome to our next episode of Event Ninja podcast. And today we are live. We are live from 3 conferences at the same time. And Run Events as a company has 2 roles. First, we're exhibiting here, and we also providing the full software tech for the conference. This is European Cloud and Collaboration Summit. It's European BizApps Summit. And what was the third one? Collaboration, BizApp, and Cloud and AI Summit.
That's right.
Okay. Matt, we are already tired of the 1 year.
It's been long.
Well, we are here at the Expo, and at the same time, this is very unique podcast. For the first time, you have the second Damir in with me.
True.
Welcome, Damir Badjari.
Oh, thank you.
Great to have you here.
Oh, thank you.
Damir is also an exhibitor.
That's
And we had some preliminary talks. You're from the company Syskit,
That's right.
from Zagreb. Also global company exhibiting all over the world. And now we, as an exhibitor, we had a chat yesterday. And you said all those conferences are not about immediate sales.
That's right.
But you're exhibiting here. I'm exhibiting here. But you are more pro in this area. What are your reasons? Why are you here? Does it make sense?
Well, it does. You know, it's a very interesting question, and it's a lot to unpack. So we'll try to summarize it a little bit here, but we can have a whole series about this down there. Just really unpacking what about conferences. But just as an overview, it's a long-term game, right? Going to conferences, you're building relationships with people. So that's really that's what I look at it as, relationship building. So it's hard to if you just look at it as one conference and you just focus on that and go, what was our return of investment? And looking at it, and I get that question a lot after a conference. What was our return of investment on that? And they only look at usually they look at it from direct sales. And then I actually had to talk about this a couple of months ago. I did my own presentation about, and then I really went deep and talked about it. But it's not just about direct sales. If you want just direct sales and you look at it through that lens, it's from one, like just focusing on the one conference. It's not, you can't get that return of investment. But on the long term, and it's a lot of indirect things that happen that build your brand, build your relationships, grow your awareness, that lead to indirect sales. So in the long term, it's very worth it. And it's in those little interactions you have with current customers. So we have current customers we meet. So we're strengthening our relationship with customers. We're meeting new people. We're listening to what is in the industry. So people, we always have new feedback. Oh, people are now talking about oversharing. That seems to be the biggest concern. Or is it Copilot? Is it Power Platform? So you're gaining industry perspective. So and that stuff you can't really measure in direct ROI. Right? So there's so many things. We're even having our own meetings on the side. We want to have really in-depth meetings. So we have a side room, and we're having really long 1-hour meetings, and those are very valuable. Listening to our customers, listening to insights in depth, listening to different ideas. Some don't even, won't always match what we need, but we're really learning. And so there's talking to speakers, Microsoft MVPs, right? And I build relationships with influencers, MVPs. Then we end up doing ebook. We just did a great ebook with 9 different MVPs. We do webinars, and a lot of that relationship is built at the conferences, right?
Exactly.
I mean, we can go on. There's so many things, indirect ROI, and brand awareness and building that. Really, in the long term, you need to go. And just as a statement, Syskit's going to 6 conferences in the next 2 months. And
2 months.
So last 2 weeks ago, we're in Vegas. We're in Dubai. Now we're in Germany. We're going to Vienna. We're going to London. We're going to Slovenia. All within like 2 months. So I'm pretty busy.
So I just want to say, I think I understand why you're doing this job. But that's the positive side. There is also the other side. So of course, it's not just relaxing job going to the conference.
No.
So I understand you said it's not about immediate sales, but it's very complex mix of very different things.
Yeah.
On one side, you have this marketing stuff. Okay, you present yourself, so people at least get that you exist. The company do something. There's the second thing. At Run Events, we use the term ambassador for people, the influencers we work with, but we see it as a win-win situation. So they provide insights to us, and that's exactly what you said. We're sitting in this glass house. We have no idea what actually people mean when they say something, because the context is missing. We're not providing directly to them, but the influencers are speaking about the issues, and we get this, and we can actually have this conversation here, and it's all about the conversation.
That's right.
However, on the other side, I was in my previous job for 8 years, chief financial officer, and this is a very evil topic. Chief financial officer is asking questions like, yes, all nice with this free goodies and all this stuff. All those guys just got to your booth to get some free goodies.
That's right.
Where's the return on investment?
That's a very debatable question. We always have this talk when I come to a conference. We have there's some great vendors here. Maybe they have a bigger budget, and they'll give out beer. They'll give out a lot of free stuff. A lot of people come, and that's great too. That's not a bad thing to have brand awareness. You're just like, hey, we're a fun brand. We want to just share a great experience, throw a party. Those aren't bad things, but that's a big investment, and that's it might make sense actually. Just like coming to a conference, where brand awareness. This is another level, but it's we always have this debate. Do we want someone to come to the booth just to just scan our draw? That's not really the type of people we're looking for.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've had a lot of great conversations. When someone just like, what do you guys? I want to enter the draw, and then they end up being like a perfect match for our product. But having something to break the ice, because people can be really.
If I understand properly, you're into this perfect balance.
There's a balance. That's right. So you can overspend, and if you have the budget, sure, like you can. And this is just my perspective. If you have the budget,
that's fun.
You can go spend a lot of money, but there's you got to be careful, because people want to be the most popular.
Yes.
You want to be the fun booth.
Exactly.
You want to, but you have to also set your ego aside, because I'll come and I've thought everything through, and my team members come and go, those guys are a lot more fun. Yeah, but are they attracting the right people to your booth? Question. So there's a balance, and I'm saying if you have the budget, you want to splurge a bit. Maybe you won't get the ROI. That's fair. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but maybe something in the middle. I love doing the Lego draw. Everyone loves Legos. It brings people in. Yes. It's not a big cost. A Lego, besides giving out beers, which probably costs like $5,000. Having a coffee truck, those are all great things.
Yeah.
But it's a big investment. But Lego is great, and it still breaks the ice, because people are scared to come to the booth.
Yes.
We're afraid to approach someone we haven't met. But you have a Lego there, you have some stickers, and they go, and then it's a nice just icebreaker. Do you want to enter our draw? You enter into conversation. Some people won't be a fit for your brand, and that's okay.
Definitely.
But you've done something at least to bring them to your booth, right? Without it's not a big cost. So I like our kind of mid-level approach, and even giving out merch. You can have all this free stuff like socks and all this free things, and just display it, and then people are going, I want that, and that's okay too. But what we do is we won't have like nice things visible, but when we have a great conversation with someone, we go, hey, here's a gift, like a nice gift. Here's a book. We have some great books. So it's I like to reward great conversations.
Okay. So in your case, this is really a reward. This is a benefit you get when you provide value. And I would say, if I understand correctly, both sides should provide some sort of value. If just one side is providing, that's missing something.
That's right.
I was at the IMEX conference. This is pretty event management. It's one of the biggest conferences in Frankfurt last week. And there was as much bigger than many other conferences when it comes to exhibitors, and countries are exhibiting. So those like Morocco and Malaysia and Japan, and then Middle East. So I was running to the conference, and this is like 60%, and the other side is tech and everyone else. So there was a booth of two consultants who already just wrote consultants. There was literally nothing on the booth, and 50 meters away there was a booth of Oman. like 4 floors with huge, very luxurious and luxurious booth. And I was just thinking, it's very hard to understand where is the balance between a proper booth and how should you invest. Is there a trend that you say, okay, people are going crazy with the booths, or they're going back to the standard booths, or is there something in between? What is the current view?
Well, let's say, I mean, I've even had this discussion with our CEO yesterday. We're looking at all the booths, and we're like, well, you know what, like there's some nice custom booths, and that's great.
Yeah.
They look beautiful, but that's a huge cost. There's a lot of logistics. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of storage, and that's like that's a huge budget. That's like if you have money to splurge, yeah, you can have a custom booth. It's not a bad thing, but that's really when you have a huge budget and you're really going all out on conferences. What I like is this kind of middle approach, and I love the booths here at Run Events. It's very simple. You send your graphics, you show up, your graphics are good, everything looks beautiful. We can order the TVs very easily, the lights very easily. I show up, my booth is ready to go. And it's this turnkey, but very simple. And most of the booths are following, I think, that middle ground turnkey, because you can go a level lower and bring your own pop-up banners and things, but then things don't look consistent. Yes. But it's great here. This is one of the best looking conferences in the Microsoft 365 sphere, because you go to some other ones, it's not consistent,
exactly.
And then everyone brings their own thing. The lighting's bad. This guy brings a roll-up banner, the curtains. So, but there's a very good consistency here, because everyone's going in that middle ground. It's a great price. It's not overinflated, and it's very easy to order on Run Events.
Everything happens when we arrived. There was just 4 booths were placed 180 degrees.
That's
so they had to kind of turn everything around, and things can go wrong.
Absolutely.
And is there anything that you can remember that really went wrong for you? Or you say, okay,
every time there's something that goes wrong, and we should do a webinar just on things that go wrong. Like example, I showed up a few weeks ago to a conference. I won't name it, but I had my booth. I knew where it was, organized, and then we show up, it was moved one over and someone else had the corner. Not what we planned. And I've seen almost everything over the last 7 years. I'm like, well, that's not what we organized. I picked the corner booth, so that's one example, right, of things that go wrong. You didn't get the booth look, and they're like, oh, it's okay, it's still good. I'm like, no, but that's not what I agreed on, right? There's been all sorts of situations. The carpet, that's a little thing, but the carpet was just like you said, the 180. I had the carpets switch from ours was orange, there was gray. We wanted it opposite, but they just matched our wall with the carpet, and it was like an over orange booth. The ground and the wall was orange, but we wanted a contrast. And it's like the little things, but we really went and thought about it, and things go wrong all the time. Even my flight's delayed now on the way home, and we're now like trying to figure out how to get a million things go wrong. People are late, people get sick. You just got to go with the flow.
Right? So if I put my other hat on, as I said, Run Events have 2 hats here at the conference. One is the executive, so it's the one who suffers with you and who understands your pain. From the other side, the Run Events as a software company, we provided the tech. I kind of like what you say in a way that it really confirms what we think, that automatization is the key. So what we should do for sponsors is to take those manual steps away, so that you have actually less work to do, and you have a proper checklist with all overview of stuff on one place.
Yeah, that's what, out of all the conferences I go to, Run Events is like honestly, it's a breeze. It's I'm not even saying that. It's such a breeze to order my booth, to send the graphics. The checklist is there. There's a special page for sponsor FAQ, which is constantly updated. So it's whenever I need info, I know where to go. And then obviously the support team's great too. So they're very responsive.
Really amazing.
But the whole process is easy. It's on one invoice. All my lead scanners are included. There's not extra things I need to purchase. There's no surprises. So I really love, in terms of, I wish all the conferences use Run Events. I'm not just saying because it's just it's very simple, and no one really thinks of the sponsor side. Everyone's always for event platforms and probably conferences in general think of the attendees, and that's their priority. But how about our procedures? There's how many sponsors do you have here?
Well,
like 80.
84, I think.
Yeah, and that's 84 processes. 84 people like me you have to talk to.
And everyone is unique.
Well, that too.
So it's not that your needs are the same with everyone else. So just order for everyone. That's a beauty on one side. On the other side, you need to manage this.
You have to
manage. And everything can go wrong. And Murphy, if something can go wrong, it will go wrong.
It does.
And that's the topic that always. I could say it in a very bad way, but many see sponsors as ATM.
That's right. Yeah.
You have sometimes the feeling too.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not their priority. Once they get the sponsor, once we sent them the invoice, they're not thinking about, well, wait, what do you, like you have like me? I have to plan the conference. That's mine now. Like you have your you're the conference, but the booth is my conference, and I have to get my team ready. I have to get my graphics ready. There's a million little things I need to know when. And sometimes they'll throw me like a curveball. Like they're like 2 months ahead of a conference. They're like, we added an extra day, but this is like for North America conference. I already booked my flights.
Yeah.
Now you're incurring costs to us, or they give information at the end, like a week before, but I needed that information 3 months ago. I already planned, already booked, already sent my team, I already have everything in place. And now you're like, oh, there's a sponsor dinner, in the last minute, but I'm already, So
you're not about getting a dinner. So that's not.
No, but they got to think of our perspective, the sponsor, and like there's 81. You have to keep 81 people, 81 companies, and their procedures in mind.
Definition of success is very personal. It's always case oriented, and it could be even that in the same case, two different persons have different definition of success. But what I hear from you is definition of success for sponsors is both business and find value. So it should be great for the brand. It should get a good vibe. Customers should have fun, but it should get results. Analyze return on investment needs to be somehow displayed, and at the same time. Organizers earn money with the conference, but you also need to present your results to your boss.
Yeah, we have our and they'll ask us, how was the conference? Like, did you make any good relationships? Did you, have any good leads, customers? So we have our perspective, and sometimes it's not considered as much.
And with Run Events, we try to put a lot of pressure on those manual processes to just disappear.
That's right.
The one thing is that you have different phases of event management where you can really separate the task and all this stuff.
That's right.
The next step will be definitely we will use AI. Are you scared?
No. I think that I can see a lot of potential. Like, let's say, I think you're mentioning like AI can match us.
Exactly.
Like that's interesting. Like match me with what companies would really like, or maybe we can even define the criteria or some of our needs, and like it can match us, and vice versa. Matching us with speakers, maybe it can match us with sessions. Maybe attendees can get matched with sessions. Hey, this is your role. We recommend you take this track or this. This would be. So there's a lot of potential there that will make. I guess just give a better result for the end user, better experience. So I'm not worried about it.
This what you said at the beginning, and I still remember this is connections.
That's right.
But the value of connection is represented through the connection, who is connected to whom, and what is the benefit for both sides. Just being connected is LinkedIn. Let's connect. We have some. I don't know if you see this. We should connect and have some mutual benefits in the future. Whatever. And the thing is that you don't want those connections to be just connections, but to get something out of it.
Valuable connections.
As I said, that AI can really help us to connect real people with real people in a way that they have a reason for that. And it's not that you don't want to have meetings. You're here for the meetings. You don't want to have stupid meetings with wrong people.
Yeah, I mean, over the course of a conference, you're going to have a lot of meetings. Some will be good, some are bad, but overall, the general, like if you can raise the quality of the conversations by using AI to predict or give you recommendations, that's a huge help, because we're valuing meetings a lot in our company. At Syskit, we're really we're having that side meetings where we were really reaching out to customers. We want to really hear and have that in-depth, valuable conversations more than quantity. It's
but I see it in this case that this is also not only for the sponsors, this is also for attendees. they also want to find the real reasons, the real results. And if they want to visit a sponsor, in your case, you have to offer, your offer is exactly what they're looking for.
That's right.
They're also happy.
Yeah, there's people we meet, and they don't know about Syskit, but you end up talking to them, and they're like, yeah, I really do have this problem. Yeah, we can help you, but they maybe didn't even know they had a problem, but they didn't know about us, so they had a problem. They don't know that we can offer it. And it'd be great if someone like AI or like a tool can just give them some recommendations, and they can just, because there's probably a lot of people we didn't even meet today that probably potentially could have used us.
Definitely.
But
you have this issue in our industry. Lots of people are kind of introvert. So
that's right.
On the other side, from the sponsor side, most of the people are extrovert.
That's right.
They sell. And it's very hard to connect in real life, because when the introvert guy starts speaking to the extrovert, he's kind of shutting down.
Yeah, that's true.
So, okay, I don't have time. I will come later. But from the other side, if you confirm that both sides will have 10 meaningful meetings, not forced meetings, but we offer you meaningful meetings, I think this is a huge improvement. And on the other side, when you add services like you lose your badge, we are in Germany. Normally, if you lose something, you need lots of documentation, personal ID, a blood test, whatever, to get the badge again.
Right.
And it would be amazing if you just say, okay, I lost my badge, can you print it? Your application knows who you are,
cool.
that you're approved, and just saying, okay, it's already printed, go to counter 2. This is what we all dream about, not to do things that we are forced to do, but to focus on some other things.
Well, we're discussing that earlier. It's like that little thing, like, you lose your badge, and now you have a process. It's a little detail, but for someone who loses their badge, it's huge, and you've considered that, and that little detail, they'll appreciate that so much. That's really cool. Actually, just to add, like when I was registering my badge, checking in, the process was so awesome. Like with Run Events, I just like scanned my badge or my QR code, and the thing printed, and like it was just so fast. I think in like 20-30 seconds, I checked in. That was really awesome.
Last year we made this that everything is beyond 8 seconds average. It's really amazing. In my case, was really, I just showed my code and I got my badge, and we didn't have any queues. That's right. That's the good thing. And one of the things that why we pushed, do you know why? Actually, we believe that first impression is the best. If you go to the conference and then wait for an hour, and then you're frustrated and have issues with badging, with everything, and you go to your booth.
I was gonna say, and then they're wasting time in the line.
Also,
so you speed that up. Now they have more time to talk to you.
Exactly.
What I mean? So you speed up.
We want to bring them in the best possible vibe. And so people are happy, say, okay, I'm in, Jack, let's do this now. Okay. And this is, and if I follow the conversation, as you say, live events make sense. Totally.
That's right.
So we should be here. On the other side, we should also focus on things that make sense. So valuable connection, creating opportunities in direct sales. The booth is very complicated. Many things can go wrong.
That's right.
But still, we need to find a balance. Somehow to have a bit of fun, a bit of benefit for the people coming from the other side. On what I really liked in your approach is that really a very, very valuable mix of business and a community feeling.
I was about to say, you can't just be completely business here. Like we're just going to talk to people that really interest us and not be part of the community. So you do a Lego draw, you give out free stuff. We do videos with MVPs. You gotta give something back. We do that ebook. We give it out for free, and we had 9 MVPs, and it's a great educational resource. But you gotta give a little back, and you'll prosper in business as well. It's not like it'll come back eventually, just not directly, but being part of the community is very important.
It could be a very nice quote, because I heard it from a person. You don't know what will happen.
That's right.
But if you do the right things will happen. So if you approach the people in a way that you give them something, today there's this trend, go-giver mentality. There's one guy who wrote a book that exploded and everyone is following it. But basically they say, don't just request something from the people. Give them something.
That's right.
Make it win-win. Make that both sides have a value out of this meeting. And I understand on offline events, live events, there is different type of value. We didn't speak about hybrid and online events because we can spend probably in 1 hour.
Yeah.
If you mix them, we can probably spend 2 hours about problems that may happen.
Oh,
well, we had here a bit of this offline online because we connected keynotes into rooms, so there were keynotes in 2 separate places that were connected. Cool. So that's the first step into, perhaps in the future that could be really remote, whatever. But you can't really replace live.
No, you can't. Just an example. We sell internationally our product, and most of our demos are on Teams, but having that real in-person interaction, in front of a TV, you get to see their body language, you get to see where their eyes are moving. You can ask them more intimate questions. It's such a different experience just for our team to demo and have that in-person interaction. And then you can leave them with something, a gift. It's such a more powerful connection when you have that, when you meet someone in person, right?
Yeah,
than online.
Definitely.
So that's why I don't think in-person events will ever go away. Even with all this Teams and Zoom, you can connect, but they're still here. They're still so important.
You mentioned Zoom, and there was this wonderful meme on the internet. There was a big picture of Zoom headquarters, and why Zoom have offices?
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Everything is so fine. So, but I think this is a very good closing quote.
Sure.
Why does the offices? Why do we have live events? We have live events. Thank you so much, Damir. It was great having you. To Damir, I think we provided valuable insights. I hope so. It was an amazing conversation, and we had wonderful. One day, I think second day will be even better. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.